Categories window performs four important functions. The first is a way to group together cost and revenue accounts. The second is to group items together for reporting or inquiry purposes. The third is to establish default tax information to assist when items are added. And the fourth is to define commission structures for salespeople. In the case of sample data, this database has grouped items together by type. Being a furniture distribution company, the sample data contains accessories, desks, chairs, and many others. Looking at accessories, these are the general ledger accounts that have been assigned. Going back to our earlier discussion about segment overrides, here's a good example. Notice that the sales revenue account and the cost of goods sold account contain a region segment, the two-character segment at the end now saying 10. Whereas the return account does not contain the region segment. Therefore, if an override is defined to say region 20, only the sales revenue and cost of goods sold accounts are changed because they are the only ones that identify a region segment. The general ledger accounts listed here are fairly straightforward. These accounts relate to the income statement side of a transaction, such as the sales revenue, sales returns, and cost of goods sold accounts. The cost variance account is an expense account in which inventory control records the cost difference between the actual cost of an item and the standard cost identified with the item, assuming the standard cost costing method is used. If the standard cost costing method is not used, then no cost variance will ever be generated. However, an account still needs to be entered in order to add the category. The damaged goods account is used in order entry to debit when items are returned from customers. One are specified as damaged, so as not to be resold to others. The last account is the default expense or asset account that is debited when an item from this category is used internally. You can override this account when entering an internal usage transaction. Categories also determine salesperson commissions. If they are allowed, as they are here, indicated by this checkbox, enter commission percentage. In this case, for accessories, the commission is specified as a flat 10%. This instructs Accpac to calculate a commission of 10% for all salespeople when they sell any items assigned to this A1 category. This is true regardless of their individual commission rate structure that now exists within order entry. To have the system default to the salesperson commission rate structure defined within order entry, enter a rate of 0% here. A rate other than 0 is a category override from the normal salesperson rate. The taxes page for categories is very useful in that tax authorities entered here are automatically transferred to new items when they are added using this category. However, tax codes will not need to be entered if all the tax class codes were established correctly within tax services. Tax authorities on categories only need to be entered if the default tax class code is not accurate for items being entered using this category. Remember, as discussed within the Tax Services section within the Financial Management Suite training course, the tax class code 1 automatically becomes the default within inventory control, order entry, and purchase orders. Therefore, if tax class code 1 is defined as taxable, and the majority of the items being assigned to this category are taxable, then there is no reason to individually enter them here. If, however, the majority of items being assigned to this category are non-taxable, then tax class code 1 is not the correct default. Therefore, enter those tax authorities using the appropriate tax class code. Yes, each and every tax code that is not the correct default of one must be entered. Remember, entering any tax class codes here automatically transfer to all items assigned this category. However, tax settings can be changed on an individual item if necessary. If it's known that tax class codes need to be entered, then enter them here. Otherwise, they must be added for each item individually.
Now, let's take a look at price list codes.